Hello everybody, this is Peacecat 100 and welcome back to some more Miles Edgeworth Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Path, the Imprisoned Turnabout. In the previous episode, we had found out that Warden Roland and Sawit were partners in crime, delivering things to Dogen on a weekly basis. But we found out that Dogen was threatening her, and now we're going to find out what her story is. If you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can enjoy this for themselves and join in on this investigation. I believe that the culprits in this case could only have been Dogen. I have no idea of what transpired between Dogen and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. Probably had the dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it's a truly terrible thing. Take a man's life, you mean? That's how you go about saying it, isn't it? If I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I want to clear up his regrets. Warden Roland, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Lightning in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. I have no idea of what transpired between Dogen and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. Problem with that. Except I don't know what to present. Hold it! You seem very confident of that. How can you be so sure? The children of this home are good little boys and girls. Believe in yourself, believe in your friends, and believe in me and the guards. There's no way that any of these hardworking children could have committed a murder. Such an emotional reason makes sense coming from someone like her. Only Dogen would be capable of something like that. I have no idea of what happened. Knightley was being held in the detention center. Dogen was in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Don't you think that would have prevented trouble? The prison is quite confined, right? There were many ways for them to meet. He was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without the direct meeting, Dogen can still cause trouble. Mark my words. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. Why? What could Knightley have done in the detention center to displease him? I need to stretch out my legs. So many wires. Oh. That was just an example. You don't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I have no idea of what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are serious from Edgeworth. What's this? That piercing gaze. Always standing straight and stiff. Very nice. Looking very clever, my dear. I think I'm about to become your biggest fan. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused. It's just a flesh wound. Right. Some form of psychological warfare. In any case, hold it. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his cooking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Cooking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention center. It does sound like you really don't know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogen. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have a chance to scream. I see. Your opinion will be a very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? Oh, you're making me blush. You're so cute. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. Perhaps I used the chisel hidden in the chessboards. I'm sure it would have been a simple job. You probably had a dog dispose of the body. Objection! Warden Roland, what do you think of this piece of evidence? What do I think? Well, what do you think? Ah, yes. Is that it? I think so too. What do you think? It's utterly ridiculous. I wholeheartedly agree. Ah! Seems I was mistaken. Hold it! The chessboard. That thing that the victim brought with him. It seems like he really enjoyed playing chess. How could I have guessed that the chisel would be hidden inside it? Chisel in the chessboard? The fact is only known by a select few people. This was the answer we arrived at from our reasoning, after all. So what if she doesn't know about this? In Dolgan's hands, even a chisel is enough to be used as a lethal weapon. So it would have been a simple job. Objection! No. I'm getting dangerously close. Objection! Warden Roland, you certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. Patty. However, there is something that you were a little too knowledgeable about. Embarrassed? You're such an inexperienced child, Edgeworth dear. Gah! Lie down, Mr. Edgeworth. You said you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Of course, it's the entrance check. With enough of the poor excuses, the entrance check? The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keyes. He didn't even have it when he arrived. That's my mistake. I meant the parcel check. Even if we assume that, there are so many suspicious points. Why wasn't a chisel immediately confiscated? Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trick to this chessboard? I did not. No information about our investigation was leaked, then how did you find out? You could not have examined this during the entrance check or the parcel check. Certainly. Someone in the warden's position would never have let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Roland. When and how did you learn about the chessboard's secrets? Huh. In that case, I shall answer for you. It is because... I gave up, Edgeworth dear. It's as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboards. But please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I'll ask you to testify once more, if that's alright with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objections here. Thank you, Edgeworth dear. I'll do my best. Stop kissing the dog. Well then, Warden Roland, I trust there will be no more lies from here on out. The pool of lies is slowly running dry. I soon will bring out her true nature. My story part 2! Man, has it already been 9 minutes? I wouldn't go as far as call to an interrogation. I always wanted to make short to talk to the new arrivals, Mr. Knightley. Yes, we had a little chat. Oh, he went back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies, not realizing that it only tightens the noose around her neck. You speak with the new prisoners, you say? That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not a solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Hold it! What did you talk about? But indeed, it was just trifling conversation. What kinds of animals he liked, what his hobbies were, that sort of thing. Hobbies? I assume you meant in chess. Oh yes, that's all Knightley would ever talk about. As I think about it, the note he had in his room, it probably had something to do with chess too. So wouldn't Roland saw Knightley's note? Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. Hold it! And what was Knightley like during the interrogation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was... honest, pal? He also talked about the croissant and some kind of promo. And passant and chess piece promotions, I presume. Looks like he was usual chess living self. Don't talk, you went back to his cell, I assure you. Hold it! If he really returned to his cell, there was no way he would be a corpse now. I know you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but I couldn't possibly have had a motive to kill Knightley, correct? Could I? Durgan was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. She only hated Durgan. Please add that to that statement to your testimony. Durgan was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. That's what people keep saying. Objection! Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. It looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Roland, you have also discovered this note in the very same place. Not just in Knightley's cell, but in Durgan's too, correct? What are you... Don't say you didn't know about the chessboard in the special cell. After all, you would have kept an eye on Durgan's actions down to the smallest detail. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Durgan that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching for Mr. Durgan's henchman. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally. He used his henchmen to threaten harm to her family. Warden Roland interrogated Durgan to expose them. So what are you saying? As you inspected Durgan's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. And then Knightley appeared, with the chess memo in hand. We deduced that he and Durgan were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you were one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Durgan's henchmen, who had come to kill you. So that's why you interrogated Knightley, boy. If the boss weren't correct, you only go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered something when you were interrogating him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chisel. A murder weapon. To Warden Roland, the chisel was a symbol of Durgan, and that was the final straw. You believed Knightley was one of Durgan's henchmen, and you killed him. It seems there will be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no room for doubt. I shall announce my verdict. For the murder of Horace Knightley. This keeps on going and going and going and going. Twice my secret verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? Warden Roland? How strange. You guys really don't understand anything. It would seem the one who doesn't understand is you. Oh, I understand one thing very well. There's a huge contradiction in your logic, Mr. Edgeworth. When she's cornered, she starts spouting nonsense. Pay it no heed, Judge Courtney. Your verdict. I'm interested in hearing what the warden has to say. What? I thought so. Just have one thing I want to say. One, please take a good look at the autopsy report. Autopsy report? The one I brought with me. That's exactly what you said earlier, Justine, darling. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? No way. Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep? Impossible! How could I have made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law. Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? What do we do? It'll be alright, pal. Mr. Edgeworth always... Whoa, hey now. He's going all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Isn't there something you could do, pal? Do the turnabout thing. Make some earth-shattering objection. Griz's a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just whipping a dead horse here. Does that mean it's hopeless? Julia is Warden Roland. If it's not her, then nothing that happened fits. But the chisel isn't a murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at this present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom.
Objection!
Objection! That would just give the killer a chance to destroy evidence. Are you mocking the court? No. I didn't mean anything like that. You look perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? Chisel's not a murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back where we started. No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth. By the way, any baseless statements will be punished accordingly. It's no good. I can't think of anything. Need more time. I regret to say, I have no... No, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what Mr. Shield said. If we give up, Simon will... Have you forgotten that sad look on his face? He was the one who suffered mostly from Knight's death, the most from Knightley's death. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us, so we can't give up. Okay. Miles, it's like you found a good partner. It's like little Case said. Whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man. No matter what troubles he faced, he would always turn things around and save his client. You got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who could turn this around. Judge Courtney? Look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you do intend to speak, you better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor, and you will hand over your badge. That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. Have I made a grave miscalculation? Wait, my logic is misplaced. Still silent, I cannot condone this waste of time. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth! Mr. Edgeworth! I will announce my verdict. That's it! I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced, it's been misled. This court finds the defendant, Simon Keyes. Objection! Isn't it a little early to be handing down the verdict? I actually think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine, darling? Enlighten us. Try to remember. The eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicion immediately fell on Dogan. I'm amazed you 6 times trying to be telling your previous failings. But was that not the killer's aim? What if we assume that it was their intention from the start? Of course, the chisel served the same purpose. Knightley's body was stabbed in the same spot with multiple sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisel in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted to mislead us into thinking the chisel was a murder weapon. Why? That's because... Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was a murder weapon? To get Dogen expelled. Warden Rollins, you made use of the chisel's image. Chisel's image? What are you trying to say? Mr. the Best, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Something like... Dogen is the killer, right? Now do you understand? That was the warden's aim. She wanted us to suspect the person with the chisels. Indeed, that was her plan from the very beginning. To make Siren Dogen out to be the killer. I understand your logic. It is true the warden did not think too kindly of Dogen. But you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer. As I thought, it's not enough. The remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon. If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over. I could prove it if I found the real murder weapon. It doesn't matter what you say, we did a clean sweep of this place. It's as Sebastian says. In the end, we could not find any weapons. In other words, such proof is impossible. No, the murder weapon must still be somewhere in the prison. As long as this exists. The security gate. You remember its name after all. Are you mocking me? It's because of those things that you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Ah. Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here. That also means no weapon could have been brought into the prison. In the end, we're back to that same mysterious after all. Courtney? So Prosecutor Edgeworth, surely you realize the murder weapon is still in prison. One must also consider how it got there in the first place. The chisel was concealed within the chessboard. The chisel is not the murder weapon, which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow. The way it was smuggled in, can you prove that? Ugh. How Warden Rowling brought the weapon into the prison. We had evidence transferred from the precinct. We borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogen. He's been interrogating him personally in my office. I know what it is. That's it! She could have used that. This shows another way the weapon could be brought into the prison. Take that! Oh, I didn't mean to press that button. Shit. Oh god, I'm at my last rope. Yeah, that was a mistake too. Alright, the way. If I screw this up now, you know what? Why is this so hard? And it shouldn't be either. Take that. Oh god. Oh, sorry. Alright. Take that! Yesterday, Dagon said this. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom made. Attached to my knife in Anubis' collar. Like, I had an idea that it was... Whatever. Indigestion again. It's possible the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. Dogan's knife was confiscated and stored on the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife. It can't be the bell and that chisel. Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel. But the only fingerprints on the chisel are Nightly's. The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be the murder weapon, attaching Dogan's bell, and in doing so, making Dogan appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of set evidence of the set of evidence that this bell originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority. Sir, who had that authority? Well, we asked the warden what she thinks. You can't find bells anywhere. Anyone could have attached it, right? I see. So you don't know. These bells are Dogan's trademark. There are only 2 in the world. And so attaching the bell would naturally make you the killer. Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I'd like to request an investigation immediately. But if you find it, it'd probably be problematic for me. Does not matter now. It's necessary that we reveal the truth. You are a prosecutor, are you not? Well, even if you say that. Curse this useless prosecutor. If only I had still investigative rights. Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission, right? There's no way she would approve. We had no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, then there's no use in continuing this conversation. The goddess of law does not smile upon those with no evidence, so will have to be continued in the courtroom. Not good. We give the warden more time here. Definitely destroy the evidence. Seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. But I don't have anything definite. Is that really acceptable? It's really like me to do something like this reckless. No, not good. It's not time to hesitate. Right now, I'm not a prosecutor, but an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who could save him now. In that case, even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I have to take it. It's a single swim. Should I raise an objection? It almost feels like I've been turned into a certain bluffing defense attorney. But right now I can't come into a standstill here. Hold it! Prosecutor Edgeworth, what now? I just realized something. What would that be? Pray tell. Naturally, the whereabouts of the real murder weapon. Dogan's knife! Mr. Edgeworth, is that really true? Yes, though it is a lie. I find that hard to believe. Isn't it a bluff, isn't it? You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. This is bad for my heart. Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think! Somewhere the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place the warden would have complete confidence in. Hiding place? Come to think of it. It was inevitable. I knew it was shoved in your mouth. The same method? No, it couldn't be, could it? But there aren't that many ways to hide things from an investigator's eyes. Prosecutor Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? It's possible, but I'm taking a big gamble here. The place where the real murder weapon hidden is here! I think we're just gonna push it to the end. We're close enough at this point. Take that! Here in the courtyard. Indeed. That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail. Where is the real murder weapon hidden? Oh! Oh, right, okay. That's why the metal detector was going off. Take that! That's it. Back then. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? Of course, that's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this. The chisel? Wasn't that just a fake murder weapon? Dugan hid this chisel inside his dog's mouth, and the real murder weapon is hidden in very much the same way. The real murder weapon is in the pond inside the alligator. We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the insides of the alligator examined. I give my consent. We have to call a veterinarian. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help? Yes, go ahead. One Roland. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Why don't you do the honorable thing and confess now? I have to confess. In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed. Gah! Found it, sir. Just where you said it would be. It's over. Patricia Rowland, the real murder weapon is none other than Dugan's knife. And the one who murdered Horace Knightley can only be you. Dugan was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong. I was completely reasonable. The guy was one of Dugan's henchmen. Him. If only he had never come to my home. I could at least be happy. My special paradise. He ruined it. All of it. Him. That no-good assassin! Him! Best of the best. It looks like even forensics officers have it tough. Alright, good job, but don't stop there. Keep the praise coming. I am not saying this from sorrow. Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation. Huh? What are you talking about, Justine? Hasn't the case been solved already? We've not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was one of Dorgan's henchmen. There's also a chance that Wood and Rowland jumped to conclusions. Oh? That is the remaining uncertainty in this case. Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will appear before me first. When that moment arrives, make sure you don't miss it. We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered and imprisoned. Knightley had not planned to assassinate the president. The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe it to be. Not to the world, and not to the law. That can't be right. Believe what you will, however. As long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains as a prosecutor, it is an inescapable reality. Prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe. Those are merely your values. The law is not the plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you will do well to prepare for the consequences. What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna... Now then, this is where I must take my leave, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice? I'm just gonna let this play out. He trusted you. He didn't dislike you at all.
Take that!
Mm-hmm. But, no, he trusted you. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just for nightly sake, huh? I'll come to the show. Where's the picture? Okay, I guess that was supposed to happen. Regina is quite an animal tamer. Oh boy. And there they go. But man, bravo, bravo. You really put on a good show today, Miles. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation. Oh man, cut it out already. You're gonna make me blush. I never know when you're being serious. Uncle Ray is always serious. So how was it, Miles? How do you feel to be a defense attorney? Save people. Defense attorney? That really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. It's been a while since I felt this good. It was, well, somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing. Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney? What? You know, pick up where your father left off. Don't you want to save people like he did? What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. But it really is unusual for a prosecutor to become a... Is it really unusual for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be upset. Normal, you know? Normal. It's not normal, pal. Huh. You don't make for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I am a prosecutor. And Uncle Ray is a defense attorney. That's why I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by anytime you have a change of heart. I'll be waiting for you. Follow in my father's footsteps. Me, become a defense attorney. Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father. Well, I guess we'll leave it at that. Brand new episode has been added. The Inherited Turnabout. We are going to end it off here. Obviously, the end of the case. A very powerful point in Edgeworth's life, apparently. At the crossroads, what should he do now, especially after meeting Judge Courtney? We're going to find out what happens next episode. And in that episode, we're going to be starting case number 3, episode 3, however you want to pronounce, refer to it as, the Inherited Turnabout. I will see you guys later.